My parents treated my sister horribly because having daughters isn't worthwhile. Now they are going crazy to get back in contact, so I replied with a restraining order. My parents are nut jobs. I have two siblings, Diana and Luke. My parents heavily favored my brother and me over our sister. Luke and I were showered with pocket money, gifts, etc., while Diana was expected to get a job as soon as it was legal for her to do so. They claimed they wanted to raise her to be strong and independent, but both said they wished they had 3 sons because girls join their husband's family and leave their parents behind, so having them isn't worthwhile. My mother's pregnancy with Diana was also very difficult, and the damage that it caused meant that she had many miscarriages while trying to have Luke, all of which were blamed on Diana. Yes, I stood up for Diana as much as possible until I moved out for college at 17. I tried to get other family members involved, but my parents are amazing at pretending they're not evil. As soon as Diana turned 18, she moved out. On the evening of her 18th birthday, I received calls from my parents asking me if I knew where she was because she had disappeared. They called her an ungrateful brat, and she needed to be in the house because she needed to finish a lot of work. My father was seething, and I could tell he would do something if he saw my sister. I learned that my sister had moved in with her friend Savannah's family, and a few months later, she started dating Savannah's older brother, Michael, and moved in with him. Savannah's family adored my sister and were happy she was dating their son. I know nothing happened before Diana was 18 because Michael lived abroad. My parents disowned Diana when it became clear she wasn't moving back in with them, and they haven't asked me about her either. Now, they're constantly harassing me to get them back into contact with her because they found out that she gave birth to her daughter at the beginning of this month. I didn't speak to them much after Diana moved out because they made me sick, but I still wanted to keep in touch with Luke. But the harassment has gotten relentless. They demand that I get Diana to speak to them because they have a right to know their granddaughter. They've shown up at my job and home, which scared me as I live with my boyfriend, and my family doesn't know I'm into men. I don't know if they're homophobic, but their behavior scares me nonetheless. That prompted me to look into restraining orders, and I think getting one against them will be possible. Yesterday, they showed up at my home again, and I answered the door and told them very plainly that they weren't owed access to Diana's child and that I was going to get a restraining order against them if they didn't stop harassing me. My grandmother called me that evening to tell me how heartless I was being because I was denying them access to 2/3 of their children, myself and Diana. She said that threatening to sever family relationships wasn't the way, and I was a horrible person for not allowing them the option to reconcile with Diana. My grandmother is very sensible, so now I feel I've gone too far. Update. I contacted my sister and saw her in a restaurant near her home. At first, she was unsure about seeing me because our parents might be able to track her down, but I assured her that they didn't know where she was. She was happy to see me. She's gotten a lot better after she moved out. I told her what was happening and that I was getting a restraining order because of our parents' constant harassment. I told her to get one as well, but she told me that she and her husband decided to move abroad. I felt sad about that because I might not be seeing her and her daughter, but she told me that she'll get in contact. I was content with that, and I felt that she needed it to have a fresh start.